Hello. Starting part 4 of this series, and how serpent worship is the foundation of some of the modern religions and the Egyptian religion. Um, so I wanted to reiterate the 7 fundamental principles of the sun and serpent worship. So we have number 1, fecundity, which is reproduction, generations of sons, having many children, reincarnation, and I added becoming more intelligent. And we have number 2 is fertility of the women, fruit trees, plants, crops, production. Number 3, we have fire, which is the sun, sacrificing in fire, God, or the anger of God. Number 4, we have the cross, or the tau or a T, which is originally 2 pieces of wood joined together, and later in in the Bible it becomes a mark or a brand used to distinguish between flocks of sheep, and prior to that it was used in court or a trial in a tribe or a family. And then it also was what determined the caste of the people. And we have the determination of caste is interesting. I like to look more into that, but I don't have more as to if it's the poor people or if it's the the elites, or who used that caste, who used the cross. Probably a symbol of the elites, I would assume. Okay, number 5, fratricide, which is the murdering or killing your own brother or sister, i.e. Cain and Abel. And then actually like Osiris and Set as well. Okay. Then we have number 6, which is wealth, which is the desire to be wealthy through metals and mining, found in the royalty and the Jewish people, Jewish elites. Not all the Jewish people, the Jewish elites. And then number 7, we have piety, which is ancestor worship of the father through the serpent as the totem of the tribe. And then it's also venerating your parents and keeping their memory alive forever after their death. Okay. And then new to this series, continuing from where we left off, we have, according to Wallace Budge, the snake symbol worn by the Egyptian pharaohs as a headband is called the uraeus, and it is the symbol of divinity and royalty. The uraeus symbol is passed to the hare, the new god, from the goddess Uachet of Butu in northern Egypt. This snake is the Egyptian cobra, the guardian of the god, and was described as being able to spit flames and fire when moved to wrath. Okay, and the Webster's Dictionary says that it is a sacred apes, which is a type of a snake, and it's the symbol of sovereignty. And then sovereignty in this sense is the supreme power over everyone, given to the god king of Egypt, who is completely free from anyone or anything controlling him. So he's completely free with immunity. Sovereignty is the state, and the state is the god, right, or the pharaoh of Egypt, centered around him, with the priesthood of Ra hidden behind him. When the two Uri, which is the two snakes, one representing the north and the other the south, are represented together, this is the unity of the two divisions. And originally, these two divisions were the division of the tribe, split, and this has ritual and ceremonial is really what drives it. The ritual and the ceremony is really what drives it. So it's a religious, the division of the tribe and the divisions of Egypt, north and south, is really, and then the joining of them together is really a ritual and a ceremonial process that is now placed inside government and the state, right? It's a fundamental principle of the state. They use that principle. Okay, Mogi says that the ancient ritual in prehistory was to place a snake, usually a python, on the head, and it is the reason for creating the office of the Negus, which is the god of Ethiopia. Serpent worship spread to Europe and Asia and can be found in Great Britain and Assyria. You can see that in Assyria. You can see it, the sun and the serpent in the wheel. And in Great Britain, you can see it with King Arthur. Okay, and Wake says that Hercules started the serpent race of the Scythians, started the whole serpent race, and it's found in the Scythians as well, which is was a people of Central Asia, around by the Black Sea. But in fact, this is just a story that passed from land to... Now, this is me saying this, but in fact, this is just a story that passes from land to land, brought through conquest and the priesthood. Heru, or Horus, is the original Hercules and is the hero of this myth. So as Egypt is expanding their empire and the priesthood is setting up locations also in these new colonies, they're bringing this myth of Horus and Ra and Set with them to these new locations. And then what they do is they just change the language to the people's language, change the names so that the new population understands it and can relate to it, but it's really just the same same myth, same story, originating in you know, originating in Egypt, but it could have been before that in, the other African countries prior to Egypt, Ethiopia and Nubia. Heru was given the symbol of the Uraeus placed above all doors with the wings of the hawk, which is the totem of his tribe. He was given that by Ra. Therefore, we have the unification of the two tribes, with Heru being baptized as the new god king by Ra. This mythology spread around the world through conquest and the priesthood of Ra. And then the serpent is looked upon to bring rain to the crops. Thoth is connected to the serpent, and the god Set or Typhon is the serpent. Wake says the brazen serpent of Moses, raised in the wilderness to the Israelites, is the god Set, and therefore the Israelites originally worshipped Set. Set is the husband of the Greek snake goddess, the Echidna. Wake says Set is the equivalent to the gods Saturn, El, Kronos, and Apophis, and Siva. The serpent was the guardian of life. The sun was the source of the life on earth. The serpent was the symbol of eternity and immortality, because the spirit would reincarnate into the serpent at the time of death. The snake can move across the top of the water like Jesus walked on water, or like the serpent moves over the face of the waters in the Bible. The Mexican and Peru sun god and his wife were serpent gods. The serpent found in Ancestor worshipped was a good being. Now it's an evil being. Brunson says that Seth was the primitive god of Lower Egypt and Palestine, and became the background of religion for the Semites. Set was a sun god derived from the Elohim, and he was the divine ancestor of the Semites. And their kings and priests claim birth from him, calling themselves the children of the sun. And last but not least, Adam was the father of agriculture and the ancestor of the Hebrews. You see how he doesn't say Israelites, he says Hebrews, right? Because they're older. And of course here we know that Adam is the sun god Ra. And then for sources for this one, I used the Bible, Webster Dictionary, Wallace Budge, Stanley Wake, and Gurma Mogis. Alright, thank you for watching. Take care.